Welcome to the Prosperity Podcast.
Prosperity thinkers, welcome to the podcast. So there's been a lot of things that have happened in the financial world since even the last episode. We have the world's first trillionaire. We have a world where people one day believe that they understand and know everything about finances and wealth, and then the next day it all changed, and then they retract what they said. So, Kim, we're in the trillionaire times. Not company, people. That's wild, is it not?
It is in one way, and yet it just is what inflation does. Now, arguably, Elon Musk, different breed of cat, his company's different breed of dog, shall we say. And as an example, let me see if I can get these statistics right. So when the movie It's a Better Life came out, I want to say it was in the 30s maybe, and the little Johnny guy, whatever his name is, goes into the candy store every day and rings the bell and says, I want to be a millionaire. I want to be a millionaire. I want to be a millionaire. If you moved those numbers forward to today, that would be worth about $16 million. 16 with a bunch of zeros, 16 million. But in today's world, you still have people talking about, I'm going to be a millionaire, or it's good because I crossed the millionaire line, or whatever. And it cracks me up because, first of all, the numbers are not the same. Second of all, what your net worth is means nothing. It's all about cash flow that matters so much more. And third of all, inflation has so, and continues to, and will ever for the rest of our lives, skewed our perception of what, quote, big numbers are. So I haven't done the math, but if you work a trillionaire back, even 20 years, 30 years, it really shouldn't seem that abnormal. I mean, it's cool. I'm happy for him. The good that he does out in the marketplace is amazing. That's really what matters, right? And the press kind of glommed onto this trillionaire status, but it doesn't really matter. What matters is what good is occurring, and are there benefits to our society because of the work that gets done there? And the answer is there's a lot of good and a lot of benefits. So that's what I'm happy about.
Yeah, I dig that. It's revealing because you have a large view on finances and how people see it. And what I mean is I'm basing some of what I'm going to say off of conversation in the car, because my kids will be like, well, does that mean that Elon Musk has $1 trillion? I was like, no, he doesn't. And the next is, well, does he have a ton of cash? And one, I don't know what his holdings look like, but they're operating in a world of getting loans off of their accounts, meaning like what kind of stock portfolio they have or other type of investments. In your world, you're focused on cash flow, and you're taking that element of the loan, call it the ability to look at and to be able to loan against a wealth vehicle that is old, that is not exclusive to trillionaires or billionaires.
Well, the cash flow part is so interesting because that has been a measuring stick for me for a long time. And it's both cash flow in and cash flow out, right? Because people immediately think about the cash flow in, but that cash flow out, which most people call saving as a verb, the act of saving or putting money away, or you could even say the act of investing, but on a consistent basis, is so paramount to people's success. And our clientele is your basic family. They might be, you could consider them upper middle class if you'd like, but I'll help anybody because it is about cash flow, and because people can make just some of the smallest shifts in their lives and get such big results as it relates to cash flow. And then that's on the upside of the mountain, right? As you're climbing up the mountain. On the downside of the mountain, it is, and it could be mountains, plural, is again, all about cash flow. And again, we have this hang up with net worth. And when people truly look at it and say, okay, I need a certain amount per month, it's really amazing what lives could be lived at various dollar figures per month that people would be so happy with, but somehow society or the media has gotten them a little confused or focused on the wrong thing, like the net worth number, right? And so it's just a joy to be able to help people see on the front end, going up that mountain, climbing it on a daily basis, the good that cash flow can do, and then same on the return. It's just a shift in perspective. And so sometimes literally I'll do a meeting with somebody and it's like they've done a 180 in their brain and consequently in their money, which means in their daily lives, by shifting that focus to cash flow. And it is age old, right? You mentioned one of the products that we use, which is the whole life policy that requires cash flow going out of your normal day-to-day operation into something that impacts your day-to-day operation. Whereas, for example, retirement monies, dollars are going out of your day-to-day operation and then they're going into a black box that does not get to impact your day-to-day operation for many years. And then there are other families that don't want to look at the life insurance space at all for whatever reason. They don't like the idea of life insurance. They don't like the guarantees. They don't like the fact that it's been around a couple hundred years. And so we have a structure that we provide that helps them with cash flow. Again, money coming in and money going out. Sometimes the two work together and sometimes they don't, but it's a joy to be able to help people and meet people where they are at as it relates to cash flow.
Absolutely. So, one, I don't think, unfortunately, we are going to single-handedly change the world. From cash flow perspective and focused versus net worth, I hope that we're making a difference. And I think we are, just based off of the material that you've mentioned on the podcast and from families that are writing in and going through, books like the Prosperity Pets books or people that are learning and constantly growing. And it's not perfect, meaning every family is different. So the follow-up question is this: getting someone to shift from total net worth focus to cash flow focus is a difficult shift. What's the first bite that we can give them that will help?
Well, I think it's the middle number, which is the rate of return. So you stated it well. There's a net worth focus, and we would like them to jump clear over to a cash flow focus. But there's a middle space that people are often also very focused on, and it's rate of return. And it comes from comments like Dave Ramsey saying, oh, you can get 12% in the stock market, as if anybody could just do that on any given day regularly. And then it also comes from a lot of other financial commentators, which will make comments such as you get an average of fill in the blank, 7, 8, 9, whatever the interest rate is, the rate of return is that they are parroting. And as we have proven numerically and talked about conceptually many times, average is not actual. So average, as we all know, is a mathematical exercise, and yet it doesn't really work that way with money because your dollars are going through those various, let's say you're going to add up 3 years and then divide by 3 to get your average. Well, your dollars are actually going through the 3 years, the first year and then the second year and then the third year. And so because of that, your average could be 25% and your actual could actually be 0%. And so I think if we help people understand that middle ground, then their eyes are on high alert. Then they're open-minded and they're listening and they're saying, excuse me, wait a minute, if what I thought was true, the idea of averages, for example, is not true and they just numerically proved it, maybe there's something else that I should be looking at. And then I'll layer this in as well. And that goes back to control, because we cannot control the rate of return our dollars get in most cases. We also cannot really control what our net worth is. Yet we can absolutely control our cash flow on a monthly basis.
We can. You know, this is the conversation, I don't even know how many we've had on the podcast, but it's one that we have to have over and over. For the conversations that we have like this, it can go down to a real estate conversation. It can be an investment conversation. It could be a variety of things, owning a business or having a side hustle or whatever it would be. But it has to start somewhere. Kim, for the books that you often recommend, what would be the one that you would say to our listeners, hey, grab a copy of this or listen to it, and it'll bring you up to speed? And if you are already cash flow focused, this will be the book that will maybe add a multiple to it.
Well, on the mountain upside, my Busting Budgeting Lies book is really the best one to get a handle on the cash flow control that all families want to have as they're climbing the mountain. And then on the mountain downside, it's the little Live Your Life insurance that I do have it handy, that's been around for so long, and it's part 2. So Live Your Life Insurance Part 2, which is all of 20 pages, has some really specific ideas on the down the mountain side of cash flow for families. And so those are the 2 things that I would encourage people to focus on. And what's interesting also about the down the mountain side is, you know, let's say for most people that starts at age 70. Well, there are things that you can do in your 30s and 40s and even 50s to have a major impact on your dollars when you're in your 70s and 80s and 90s and heading down that mountain. And so it's super helpful for even a young family to get into the Live Your Life Insurance book and learn a little bit about that second half, if you will, because frankly, it's a lot easier to make changes when you're in your 40s and 50s than waiting until you're in your 70s. And not that it can't be done when you're in your 70s, but it's a lot easier in your 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
So those are the 2 things I direct people to.
I love it. We'll make sure that we have those included. For all of our listeners, you'll notice we did not talk down about the trillionaire world. We think prosperously. We talked about the thing that actually mattered. And so then we don't expect mainstream news and media to do that. We're focusing on the things that actually matter long-term and create prosperity. For all of you listeners, thank you for subscribing and being a part of the podcast. If you're listening, if you're watching, if you're just grabbing a clip here and there, if you're only seeing this on socials, make sure you hit the follow button so that you can get the full episode. And then if you want to dive deeper, as we mentioned, a couple of books and valuable resources.
Thank you for listening to the Prosperity Podcast. To take control of your money and have it work for you, visit prosperitythinkers.com.